My wife tried to divorce me for half, so I used our smart thermostat data to prove her conspiracy. I blew up my wife's divorce plan with our smart thermostat, not a joke. She tried to take half. I walked out with everything. She paid my legal fees, and her boyfriend's marriage face-planted so hard HR sent helmets. The best part? I did it with energy usage graphs in a setting called guest mode. Imagine getting ratioed by your own HVAC. A quick pulse check. Have you ever been betrayed by a leaf icon? Because I have, and you're about to watch that leaf do stand-up. Buckle up, let me paint you a picture. Papers hit my doorstep on a Tuesday. She wanted half the house, half my retirement, and the dog like she'd trained him. I smiled, signed the receipt, and asked if she preferred red or white with her lies. She blinked. I set a reminder called Bring Receipts. You with me? Because this is where the house starts talking. Because data doesn't have feelings. It just sits there time-stamped, while people invent Pilates at 11 p.m. and offsites at a Hyatt without a conference room. That thermostat, it knew who was home, and when, and why the temperature was spicy. Little leaf icon in the corner, judging me like a tiny eco-therapist. Marriage, money, and the lie. We'd been together 7 years, married for 4, mortgage for 2. The plan was a prenup, soon, according to her. Soon vanished. So did her honesty. At first, it was tiny stuff. Phone face down. New lingerie I had never seen again, which is a weird museum approach to underwear. Girls' trips with exactly 1 selfie and 0 group photos. She started saying, clean split, like it was a salad dressing. Money mattered. Joint accounts, my annual bonus around the corner. Her sudden obsession with separating finances for simplicity. She said, let's keep things fair. The way a raccoon says, let me hold your sandwich. My gut said no. My spreadsheet said absolutely not. I don't chase vibes. I track patterns. So I started logging. Not her words, her timestamps. Calendar blocks that looked like corporate nonsense, copy-paste excuses, identical stuck-late texts landing to the minute. Meanwhile, she's suddenly high energy on Thursdays and mysteriously exhausted Fridays. I asked simple questions. She offered TED Talks without the slides. Then she floated, casually, if things don't improve, maybe we should separate and be adults about it. She meant, you don't fight, I take half, and we stay friends while I take the dog. I nodded like a bobblehead and made a private folder called Not Today. I wasn't going to scream. I was going to document. I wasn't going to accuse. I was going to correlate. Feelings argue, logs don't. In my house was smarter than both of us. Red flags montage, patterns don't lie. Red flag 1, Thursday, late shift. But the Uber receipt that hit our joint card said Hyatt Place. Shockingly, not her office, unless HR got a pool. Tell me you see it too, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. Comment leaf if your gut just sighed. Red flag 2, she came home at 11 p.m. smelling like yoga class, which apparently now offers Oda whiskey mint and a receipt from a liquor store tucked in her tote. Must be hot vinyasa with bourbon. Red flag 3, her smartwatch went clinically deceased during spin class. No heart rate, no movement, as if she parked it on a nightstand to avoid calorie guilt while performing a different kind of cardio. Red flag 4, she started saying team offsite, like she had stock options and lying. The company wiki listed no offsite. Their budget had more dust than our dying ficus. Red flag 5, she needed space, and by space she meant my side of the closet. Friends said I was paranoid. My spreadsheet said I was conducting peer-reviewed science, so I leaned into the tech. I opened our smart thermostats app. Hidden in settings, occupancy detection, motion clusters, and a sarcastic little feature called Eco went away. It logs when the house notices bodies. Charming. I pulled the last 3 months. Thursdays spiked like a seismograph. The house left Eco at 2:13 p.m. on weekdays when we should have both been gone. Not once. Repeatedly. And on her girls' trip, guest mode turned on at 7:41 p.m. Heater kicked to 74, and the living room motion sensor threw a party. Funny how no girls posted boomerangs from my couch. I matched those spikes with router logs. 2 new devices had joined during late shift windows, an iPhone and a smartwatch. The iPhone broadcasted Jared's iPhone. Bold choice, Jared. That's like robbing a bank with a name tag. Be honest, if your Wi-Fi snitched that loud, would you even need a therapist or just a printer? The Ring system? She had toggled chime alerts off from her account at 6:58 p.m. on 2 separate nights. The back door opened at 7:03 both times. The front cam stayed quiet because, shocker, people who cheat love side entrances. The groceries? She bought ribeyes and a fancy bottle on her. Vegan cleanse. Apparently the cleanse allowed grass-fed infidelity. Then came the airline email. Thanks for your stay. Earn double points. We do not have a hotel loyalty account. She'd forwarded it to an archive folder named Receipts. Bold. I would have called it, "Please subpoena me." Here's the problem with lying in the age of apps. You have to defeat a whole team of tiny robots that don't care about your feelings. My house measured heat. My router counted phones. The door sensors tattled like little brothers. 1 red flag is noise. 5 is a parade. I had floats, marching bands, and Jared twirling a baton labeled adultery. So I stopped feeling crazy and started building a case. Not to explode, to be boring. Boring wins. Boring brings binders. Boring gets custody of the dog. I wasn't chasing a confession. I was writing one. Timestamp by timestamp, motion clip by motion clip, heart rate by heart rate. And she didn't know the thermostat took attendance. The smart thermostat angle. House tells on her. So I go full nerd on the thermostat. It's the one with learning in the name, which is cute because it learned my wife's boyfriend's schedule faster than I learned my wife's lies. Inside the app, there's this quiet little graveyard of truth called history. It shows every time the house flips from away to home, every time the temp jumps, every time guest mode gets toggled like a do not disturb sign in a hotel you're not staying at. First thing that hits me, weekdays, 2:13 p.m., the house pops out of eco like someone walked in. Multiple Thursdays. She works late on Thursdays. I work across town, so who's warming my living room mid-afternoon? The cat. The cat can't reach the toggle, and if he did, he'd set it to 85 and demand shrimp. Second, temperature spikes. We keep it at 68 because I have a mortgage and a sweater. But on late nights, the thermostat bumps itself to 73, sometimes 74. The motion cluster map shows heat signatures in the living room, kitchen, and, my favorite, hallway. That's not a quick drop-in for mail. That's the cardio tour. Third, guest mode. Didn't even know that existed. Turns out, my house becomes a concierge when you hit it. Guest mode kicked on at 7:41 p.m. during her girls' trip. The log helpfully notes, guest mode enabled from primary user. Weird, because primary user was allegedly out dancing with imaginary friends. The guest must have been hospitable. Fourth, occupancy sensors. It labels patterns over time. Monday through Friday, 8 to 6, house is usually away. But the report starts flagging second occupant detected clusters on Thursdays and every other Tuesday after 6. This is the thermostat saying, hey buddy, there are 2 humans stomping around when there should be 0. It's like when your dog barks at the door and you ignore him, but the dog is a spreadsheet. I export the nerd gospel as a CSV, drop it into my case file, and color code like a kindergarten teacher on too much espresso. Red for she said work, blue for house said hi, yellow for why is it tropical in here. I lined up the peaks with her texts. Running late, don't wait up. The graph is basically waving a tiny cheating flag. Now, I can hear someone saying, thermostats aren't people. What if the UPS guy lingered? Cool theory, except the house logs time and motion per room. 38 minutes in the bedroom isn't a UPS delivery. That's a back order. And the hallway motion always follows a back door open, not the front. The front has the camera. The back just has shame. The wildest part? Energy usage reports. Monthly summary says, your heating use increased 22% on Thursdays compared to similar homes. Similar homes don't have Jared. We do. It literally gave me a little leaf icon for saving energy on Mondays and a passive-aggressive frowny leaf on Thursdays. Even the eco badge was disappointed in my marriage. If you've ever been silently judged by a sticker, welcome to the club. Type leaf, so I know I'm not alone. I sat there at midnight, staring at the app like it was telling me a bedtime story. The moral was clear. My house was hosting a recurring event. And it didn't require me to rage text or snoop through her phone. It was quieter than that. Boring. Lawful. It was the kind of evidence that makes a judge put on reading glasses. Okay, house, you've tattled. Now let's see who you've been entertaining. Corroborating evidence. Stack the proof. Step 2. Router time. Our Wi-Fi is named Bill Nye the Wi-Fi guy, so obviously it's trustworthy. I log into the admin panel and check DHCP leases. There's my phone, her phone, my laptop, her tablet. Then 2 strangers, an iPhone and a smartwatch that aren't ours. The names? Jared's iPhone and a watch with a MAC address that screams, hi, I'm codependent. I cross-check lease times with the thermostat spikes. Perfect overlap. Jared's iPhone shows up at 2:16 p.m., leaves around 4:58 p.m. On nights, guest mode was activated. The watch sticks around until 10:22 p.m. I take screenshots with timestamps and IPs. I even ping the devices and save the ARP table like a proud little IT goblin. No one is impressed by an ARP table until discovery. Ring is next. We don't have a camera in the back, but the system log setting changes. Twice, chime alerts were disabled at 6:58 p.m. Not by me, her account. And both nights, the back door sensor opens at 7:03 p.m., closes at 7:04 p.m. The front stays quiet except for one time the doorbell got pressed once and then canceled. That felt like Jared accidentally trying the wrong door and then scuttling like a raccoon who saw God. Door sensors also love routine. The back door opens at 2:12 p.m. on weekdays that match late shift. That's weird. UPS has never been that consistent. And the bedroom door sensor, which I installed to keep the dog from raiding laundry, logs open-close bursts in pairs that look suspiciously like people forgetting they're in a smart home. Receipts start joining the choir. Our joint card flags a purchase: ribeye, wine, chocolate, artisan matches. On her vegan cleanse, she told me she ate air and meditated. She meditated over a medium rare email time. There's an airline loyalty confirmation at 1:56 a.m. that forwards automatically to a folder named Receipts, not shared with me. The address is her personal, but the hotel name matches my Uber charge from 2 weeks earlier, the Hyatt Place night, where I apparently took her word over my gut. The email subject line: thanks for your stay. My favorite line: we hope you enjoyed guest mode. Oh, I did. I enjoyed it later with popcorn. Her smartwatch app, synced to our health account last year, is suddenly missing from my family dashboard, but leftovers remain. The week-over-week recovery score shows tanked sleep on Thursdays, elevated HRV, then rest day Friday. So spin class is now recess? Fascinating science. I grab a screenshot of our calendar. She has a block called QBR every other Tuesday from 7 to 10 p.m. Her company doesn't do quarterly business reviews at night. I check their public events page. Nothing. I check the Slack status that she sometimes leaves open on her iPad. Heads down. Buddy, your head was down, but not in spreadsheets. Little detail: Uber. On 3 nights, her account shows a ride to work at 6:12 p.m., then a return at 11:48 p.m. from a hotel 10 minutes from our house. Work is 30 minutes in the other direction. She wasn't commuting. She was carpooling to bad decisions. Now the fun bit: network logs reveal Jared's iPhone Mac ending in 7B9A. I searched that WeI. It's Apple, obviously, but the same Mac pops on a second SSID, our guest network. He learned the password. Then she must have helped him switch over. So she's thinking security. Cute. Security is me. Last piece. Her Ring app activity shows she muted alerts during girls' trip, and the thermostat shows guest mode toggled by her account within 10 minutes. She was managing home comfort while allegedly in a hotel 3 states away. Multitasking queen. Individually, all of this is messy. Together, it's a barbershop quartet harmonizing on You Played Yourself. And here's where I got rude. I printed it all. Thermostat CSV into pretty graphs. Router logs into readable tables. Door sensor timelines synced with Uber rides and calendar blocks. I made a binder so thick it needed its own lumbar support. I didn't send a single angry text. I didn't confront. I let the machines testify, because humans cry. Graphs don't. And when it's graph versus it was Pilates, judges side with Excel 9 times out of 10. I sat with the stack, breathing like a yoga teacher, and labeled the cover: Timeline, Home Occupancy versus Claims. Inside, a little sticky note: Hi, Jared. Then I poured myself a glass of the ribeye wine and practiced my smile. The lover reveal. Who's Jared? So, Jared. The iPhone with the personality of a traffic cone. I type Jared plus her company into LinkedIn like I'm ordering takeout. Boom. There he is. Cinematic slow zoom, background music, canned corporate jazz, team lead, smug headshot with soft lighting and a tilt like he's about to sell me kombucha futures. Beard that screams craft beer and weak boundaries. Married, 2 kids. Bio says passionate about mentorship. Yeah, he mentored my thermostat. Quick audience participation. What's your go-to caption for a cheater's LinkedIn? I went with open to work on boundaries. I scroll. Endorsements from my wife for leadership and agile. Buddy, nothing about Thursdays was agile. I check his activity. Tagged at a team offsite. The photo's a patio with string lights. The caption says grinding late. My girl is in the background wearing the beanie I bought her. Tell me you're sloppy without telling me you're sloppy. Instagram? Public. Thank you. Oversharing. He posts craft coffee, sneakers, motivational quotes like integrity is doing the right thing when no one is watching. Meanwhile, my Ring logs are watching you disable the chime. You. Decorative throw pillow. And yes, I double tapped the hypocrisy. Did you feel that secondhand cringe, or was that just my thermostat turning up the shame? Then I look at his wife's page. Mia. 2 kids, PTA, golden retriever named Toast. She looks like she thanks the crossing guard every morning. I stare at her smiling with a tray of cupcakes and feel my stomach drop. Because this isn't just my little soap opera. This is a 4-person mess with frosting. I go back to Slack, because sometimes my wife forgets to log out on the iPad. That status she loves, heads down, keeps lining up with thermostat spikes. I search her calendar for QBR. The block says quarterly business review. Recurring, every other Tuesday, at 7 p.m., at a Hyatt, with no conference rooms apparently. I whisper, quarterly bedroom review, and immediately hate that I'm funny during a tragedy. Now, I'm not about to DM a stranger and yell. That's amateur hour. I want clean, so I make a new email. Subject line: neighborly heads up. Body: hi Mia. This is awkward. I think our spouses are collaborating. I have logs, time-stamped, boring, judge-friendly. Not here to blow up your life. Here to confirm patterns. If I'm wrong, I will apologize and vanish. Attachments? A sanitized timeline with names redacted, just devices and times. She replies in 11 minutes. I had a feeling. I have Apple family location history and our car tracker. Let's compare politely. Politely. I might love Mia. We hop on a call like two accountants planning a heist. She pulls up Jared's location pings near my house. Thursdays, 2:15 to 5 p.m., then back after 7. Her car tracker shows his SUV parked one street over from me twice a week. She's got Venmo notes too. Eggplant, wine, snowflake. I say, is snowflake? She sighs. Hotel ice. Right, of course. We sync everything. My thermostat's second occupant detected with her device arrived. My door sensor with her car's ignition off. My router logs with his watch connecting. It's like building IKEA furniture. Annoying, then suddenly a chair. I ask, what do you want to do? She says, whatever protects our futures and makes lying expensive. I could propose. We set a date, the day my wife planned to serve me. Mia will check in with her husband from a different room while I lay out exhibits. No yelling, no theatrics, just data and quiet disappointment. Theater for accountants. I end the call and stare at Jared's LinkedIn again. Endorsed for transparency. I cackle, close the tab, and add one more sticky note to my binder. Hi, Mia. Then I circle the dog's name, because Toast didn't deserve this either. Building the case with Mia. Co-intel. Mia and I treated evidence like meal prep. Sunday night, containers labeled, portions measured, no seasoning except salt. I sent her the sanitized thermostat CSVs, router leases, and door sensor timelines. She sent back Apple family location pings for Jared, plus their car tracker exports. We were two nerds in a buddy cop movie, except our guns were spreadsheets and sarcasm. Her first bomb. Jared's phone pings near my house on Thursdays at 2:14 p.m., then again around 7:05 p.m. That's the same minute my thermostat leaves eco and the back door yawns open like a bored teenager. She highlights the pins and writes, he tells me he's mentoring. I reply, he mentored my gas bill. Then the car tracker. His SUV, license plate I now know by heart, parks one street over from me twice a week. The timestamps match my guest network handing out an IP to Jared's iPhone. She says she thought the tracker was overkill. I tell her overkill is why planes land. Venmo time. Mia exports months of payments with the world's least subtle emoji code. Eggplant, wine, snowflake, and, for some reason, a tree. I venture a guess. She says, Christmas hotel lobby. We add it to the legend. Eggplant equals sign. Wine equals sin juice. Snowflake equals ice bucket. Tree equals seasonal sin. Our chart looks like a toddler sticker book, but a judge is gonna love the consistency. We align calendars. I share her QBR blocks. Mia pulls Jared's work calendar. Surprise, his team sync appears every other Tuesday from 7 to 10 p.m., marked private. He does not have a team. He has my living room. We call it what it is. Quarterly bedroom review. Mia doesn't laugh. Then she does, a little, like a kettle finally boiling. Now we schedule the confrontation like a clinical trial. She suggests we wait for my serve date. She'll keep Jared on a call checking in from the grocery store while I roll out exhibits at the settlement conference. Our goals: no yelling, no surprise witnesses, no you're crazy, only timestamps. If they lie, the logs slap them. If they confess, the logs nod politely. Legal prep starts here too. I record a screen capture walkthrough of each app. Thermostat history, router admin, ring settings, door sensors. Time on system clocks visible, UTC offsets documented, metadata panels open. Mia does the same on her end with Apple family. And the car tracker. We write little affidavits. Who took what, when, how, on what device. Chain of custody, but make it suburban. We also prep for what if they wipe stuff scenarios. I export router syslogs to a thumb drive in cloud. She screenshots Jared's Venmo notes and forwards the originals to a new email. I print the thermostat monthly reports because printers are the final boss of truth. We talk through subpoenas like we're ordering lunch. ISP for DHCP logs, hotel for check-in footage, employer for badge swipes. We're not threatening, we're forecasting. Mia asks about tone. I tell her I'm going to be calm, bordering on bored. Bored is lethal. Bored says, this is routine. She says she'll be surgical, questions only, no speeches. We practice lines. She'll ask Jared, "What's the QBR at the Hyatt?" I'll ask my wife, "Who is guest mode?" It's mean. It's precise. We build a master timeline together in a shared sheet. Columns: date, claim story, thermostat state, motion cluster, router joins, backdoor, Uber route, Jared phone ping, Jared car stop, Venmo emoji, Slack status, calendar block. It looks ridiculous. It looks beautiful. You could paint a nursery with how clear the pattern is. We also prep for the dog. Not Toast, my dog. We put vet appointments, daily walks, feeding schedules into the binder because judges like stability. Mia insists. They'll try to leverage the dog for emotion. I add a photo of my idiot Fluff sleeping on his back like a cinnamon roll. Checkmate. Feelings. There's a moment, late at night, where Mia goes quiet. I ask if she's okay. She says, "I'm angry, but I'm grateful it's tidy." Tidy is her word. I tell her I'm sorry she's here. She tells me she's sorry I'm here. We are very polite in our little submarine, watching torpedoes on sonar. Real talk. Anyone else ever felt relief and grief holding hands? Drop a same if your chest knows both at once. 2 days before the serve, she sends a final package. Jared's badge-in data from a friend in facilities. It shows he left the office early every Thursday. The friend didn't ask why. They never do. We tack it on. The timeline now has the elegance of gravity. We agree on the last detail, bring humor, but only for ourselves. In the room, no jokes. We save the jokes for after, when the binders are closed and the leaf icon on my thermostat stops frowning at me. Then we go to war with laminated calm. Lawyer up. Make it court ready. I booked a consult with a lawyer who had the vibe of a librarian that sues people for misshelving. I slid the binder across. She flipped 3 pages, looked up, and said, "We're not arguing feelings. We're arguing facts. I love facts." I think I imprinted on her like a duck. Step 1, preserve everything. She said, "Screenshots are appetizers. We need entrees." So I recorded screen captures of each app with system clocks visible, dumped raw CSVs, exported router syslogs, and printed the thermostat monthly summaries with the smug little leaves. She made me write a mini affidavit for each. How I captured it, on what device, date, time, software version. Chain of custody, baby. My home became CSI HVAC. Step 2, subpoena shopping list. She rattled it off like groceries. ISP for DHCP logs to verify device joins. Hotel for check-in footage and records. Employer calendars and badge swipes for both of them. Uber trip histories. Credit card merchant data with itemized SKUs. I nodded like a bobblehead with trauma. She said, "We may not need them, but the threat of them is expensive." Music to my petty little ears. Step 3, financial shield. Same day, I moved my paycheck to my separate account, froze the joint credit card, locked down auto transfers, turned off overdraft protection, and set alerts so aggressive my phone now texts me when I think about money. She asked for a list of my premarital assets, contributions to the house, proof of separate property. I pulled mortgage statements, bank records, and a dusty email chain titled prenup draft. Spoiler, she delayed that into the sun. Now it was a prop. We built exhibits like a museum of bad choices. Exhibit A, thermostat history with color-coded occupancy flips. Exhibit B, router DHCP leases with device names and MACs, highlighted overlaps with Exhibit A. Exhibit C, door sensor logs synced to those times. Exhibit D, ring settings activity and alert toggles by user. Exhibit E, her calendar blocks and his team sync matched to motion clusters. Exhibit F, receipts, ribeyes, wine, artisan matches, because apparently we're cheating like it's a Pinterest board. Exhibit G, Mia's sanitized pings and car tracker logs with her affidavit. Each got a cover sheet, footers with page counts, and those sticky index tabs like a rainbow of consequences. My lawyer made me rehearse the narrative without jokes. Brutal, she said. Judges like boring. Boring says credible. If you're funny, be funny in your car later. I promised to be a stale cracker with tears. We practiced questions I'd get. Why didn't you confront? Answer. I wanted to be sure, and I didn't want to escalate. I documented. How do you know it was Jared's phone? Answer. The iPhone broadcast its name. The Mac appears across multiple sessions. Overlaps match his location data from his spouse. Why a backdoor? Answer. Ring alerts were disabled from her account at those times. Backdoor opened consistently. Front stayed normal. Every answer wrapped in timestamps like a burrito. We also set traps. In the draft settlement, we included a clause, mutual non-disparagement and no workplace retaliation. If they balked, we'd ask why. We added a line about undisclosed relationships creating financial exposure. If she denied an affair, the exhibits contradicted her under oath. My lawyer smiled softly, the way a cat smiles at a slow bird. She warned me, do not poke the bear. Be polite, be short, be devastating. So I practiced neutral face in the mirror until I looked like a DMV photo with a soul. Security sweep. I changed every password, enabled hardware keys on my accounts, revoked her device access to cloud backups. I exported the dog's vet records, training receipts, and a schedule that made me look like a lab-coated pet scientist. Judges love a responsible dad. I love my idiot fur potato. Last, tone check with Mia. We compared our affidavit's wording, scrubbed adjectives, kept verbs. She'd provide her packet if needed, but only when asked. We agreed on one signal during the meeting. If we needed to escalate, she'd text a leaf emoji, our inside joke. Our thermostat jury. The night before, I packed the binder, a backup binder, and a thumb drive like I was going camping in Litigation National Park. I set the thermostat to 68, the moral temperature. I stared at the leaf icon and said, tomorrow, we compost lies. In bed, I rehearsed the opening line I wouldn't get to say, Your Honor, Exhibit H is my sanity. Instead, I settled on, I have a timeline. Clean, cold, boring. The morning of, my phone buzzed. Calendar alert, settlement conference. Under it, a reminder I'd set weeks ago, back when the papers hit my door. Title, Bring Receipts. I smiled, grabbed the binder, and walked out, feeling exactly like a spreadsheet with legs. The serve and the smile. She makes her move. She picked Tuesday because she thinks Tuesdays are neutral. A process server in a navy jacket knocked like he was delivering cupcakes. Are you my name? Yep. Envelope handed. My dog sneezed like an objection. I thanked the man, because manners are free, and flipped the packet. Irreconcilable differences. Half the house. Half my retirement. Alimony. And the dog, which is bold, considering the dog prefers me the way plants prefer the sun. She happened to swing by 15 minutes later, pretending surprise like a bad actor in a detergent commercial. Oh my God, did he come already? I held up the papers. He sure did. Red or white with your lies. She tried to laugh. It came out like a car that won't start. Don't make this hostile, she said, wearing a blazer that screamed court Pinterest. I invited her in because I wanted the scene set. Tidy kitchen, dog asleep like a cinnamon roll, binder on the counter like a loaded trap. She clocked it and smirked, mistaking organization for surrender. Look, my lawyer says it's cleaner if you don't fight. Quick, amicable. We can be adults. I nodded. Totally. I love being an adult. Bills, laundry, consequences. She slid into negotiation voice. I'll take the equity in my car. You keep your retirement, but we split the bonus and the dog goes with me, obviously, because stability. My dog lifted one ear and farted. Stability rebuttal, sustained. I kept my tone DMV neutral. I'm open to clean, but quick only works when the math isn't fiction. She blinked. What math? I tapped the binder. Timeline math. She glanced at it like it might bite. She pivoted to pity. We don't have to do this ugly. I just want a fair split and peace. I smiled. Same. But you filed irreconcilable, not amicable. And you asked for alimony while wearing new shoes I apparently bought. Her eyes did the little darting thing liars do when they're counting their own stories. Don't be petty, she said. Petty is unplugging the ring chime, I said. This is arithmetic. She sighed, poured herself water like it was vodka, and tried the we grew apart monologue. We lost our spark. You got boring. I gestured to the binder. Boring is how I win court. She peered at the cover tab, timeline, home occupancy versus claims, and went pale like milk. You've been tracking me? I've been tracking my thermostat, I said. It's very friendly, knows all our friends. Her jaw flexed. So what's your plan? Drag me through court? Make us both miserable? Counteroffer, I said. We go to a settlement conference. We tell the truth. We keep the dog where he actually lives, and we draft non-disparagement, plus a mutual no retaliation at work clause. Why would there be retaliation? She tried to act confused. I shrugged. Couldn't say. Just seems adult. She reached for the binder. I put one finger on it. Not today. The finger said therapist. The eyes said printer ink. She switched to intimidation. My lawyer is aggressive. You'll spend a fortune. I shrugged. He'll enjoy the exhibits. And if this gets expensive, it won't be me paying the late fees. Her phone buzzed. I didn't look, but I could feel the Jared of it all like a draft. She tucked it away. I want the dog. Non-negotiable. I shook my head. Judge loves stability. Dog stays where he sleeps. You can visit. Bring treats. Not artisan matches. She went for the jugular. Tears. Printed, glossy, pre-moistened. I never meant to hurt you. I nodded. And yet, mileage. She sniffed. Can we at least not make a scene? Great news, I said. My whole vibe is no scene. Settlement conference Friday, 10 a.m. Mia will be there as an observer. The name dropped like a bowling ball. She flinched so hard the dog woke up, judged her, and went back to sleep. Who's Mia? She asked, playing dumb like it was community theater. Toast's mom, I said. You'll love Toast. Golden retriever, very opposed to adultery. Her face did math poorly, she whispered. You talked to her? I sipped my own water. Politely. Adult. She straightened, mask snapping back on. Fine. Friday. But I'm not signing anything crazy. I smiled. You'll sign something tidy. She pointed at the binder. You think you're clever. I shook my head. I think my thermostat is clever. I'm just the guy with a printer. She left without slamming the door. Fear makes quiet people. I watched her get into her car, phone already to her ear, probably calling her coach, captain, and co-conspirator. I scratched the dog's head. We're gonna be so boring? I told him. He yawned like a yes. I set a calendar invite. Settlement conference. Bring receipts. I set the thermostat to 68, the peace temperature. Then I practiced my smile in the microwave reflection, the one that says, I'm fine, thanks. Please turn to Exhibit A, Settlement Conference. Evidence drop. Conference room vibes. Beige walls, complimentary water, and a plant that gave up in 2019. The AC breathed that stale, recirculated honesty fear. My lawyer unpacked binders like a magician with a paper fetish. Across the table, my wife in her courtroom blazer, her. Lawyer with a pen that looked expensive, and an empty chair labeled Observer. 10 minutes in, Mia slipped into it with the calm of a librarian who knows where the bodies are shelved. You ever hear a room get colder without touching the thermostat? The leaf icon in my head put on a parka. My wife gave me the smirk. The one that says, you're outgunned? The corner of her mouth quivered, just a blip, like a weak Wi-Fi signal. I smiled back with the warmth of a spreadsheet and the pulse of a guy whose hands are steady because he practiced breathing in his car for 10 minutes. We started soft. Assets, debts, boring numbers. Everyone breathed steady. Then my lawyer said, timeline discrepancies, like she was ordering soup, and slid Exhibit A across. Color bars, clean fonts, the aesthetic of doom. Thermostat history, my lawyer said. Occupancy flips from away to home, weekdays, 2:13 p.m., recurring. Temperature increases to 73 to 74 during claimed late shifts. She tapped a line item. Guest mode enabled at 7:41 p.m. during a claimed out-of-town trip, enabled by primary user. She looked at my wife. You're the primary user. My wife blinked like a Wi-Fi signal in a storm. The thermostat is glitchy, she said. Classic. My lawyer nodded. Of course, that's why we corroborated. Exhibit B slid in, router leases, MAC addresses, device names. The highlight box around Jared's iPhone. Your Wi-Fi shows 2 new devices connected during these windows, my lawyer said. An iPhone broadcasting as Jared's iPhone and a smartwatch. Overlaps match the thermostat's occupancy. They arrive at 2:16, depart around 4:58, return after 7 on select dates. Her lawyer stopped tapping his pen. The pen left a tiny ink dot on the pad, one black freckle of panic. The air smelled like copier toner and bad decisions. I kept still. Bored is lethal. We floated to Exhibit C, door sensors. Back door opens at 2:12, closes at 2:13. Front door? Quiet as a church mouse with NDAs. 2 dates where ring chime alerts were disabled from my wife's account at 6:58 p.m. Both followed by that neat little backdoor tango. Her lawyer tried a thing. Could be a repairman. My lawyer didn't blink. 38 minutes of bedroom motion with overlapping device presence and temperature rise to 74 is a very thorough repair. Also, there are 6 repairmen named Jared with Apple Watches. He coughed into his tie. You could hear the HVAC whisper, guest mode, but make it evidence. Let's add Exhibit D, my lawyer said. Ring settings activity, toggled by her account at times, matching door activity. Exhibit E, her calendar blocks labeled QBR, and his team sync entries, evenings, recurring, aligned with motion clusters and network joints. She turned a page. Exhibit F, financial receipts, ribeye, wine, artisan matches on nights labeled vegan cleanse and late shift. My wife lifted her chin. This is invasive, she whispered. My lawyer nodded gently. It's also discovery. I watched the color drain from her face the way a screen dims when the battery's done pretending. Now, my lawyer said, because we like tidy. And she gestured to the empty chair. Mia placed a thin packet on the table. Observer packet, she said, voice soft. Apple family location pings and a vehicle tracker from my household, redacted for privacy. Her lawyer frowned. Who is this? My lawyer smiled. A relevant spouse. He turned a page, saw the map pins at 214 and 705 near my street, and his mouth pressed into a straight line that said, I hate Thursdays. We didn't gloat. Not yet. We kept the rhythm boring. Slide, tap, timestamp. The room temperature did the opposite of guest mode. My wife tried another angle. You're controlling. You tracked me. I exhaled slowly. I tracked my thermostat, I said. Your story tracked itself into it. Mia looked at her folded hands and asked the heir, polite as a pastry chef, Jared, what's the QBR at the Hyatt? Silence. Then we all remembered Jared wasn't in the room. My wife reached for her phone. My lawyer raised a palm. Before contacting anyone, let's finish. Exhibit G, a synchronization sheet. She slid the master timeline, columns like a rainbow of regret. Thermostat state, motion cluster, router joins, backdoor, Uber routes, calendar blocks, external device pings. She tapped the legend. Eggplant, wine, snowflake. The judge in my head laughed. Her lawyer cleared his throat. We're here to negotiate, not litigate. My lawyer smiled. Perfect. Negotiation works best with clarity. We pivoted to terms. My lawyer read the proposal like it was a grocery list. She waives claims to the house equity. No alimony. Each keeps premarital accounts. She returns gifts above a threshold. Mutual non-disparagement, and a strict no retaliation at work clause, given the risk profile. My wife scoffed. You can't threaten my job. My lawyer shook her head. We're not. We're insulating. There is a policy about relationships with direct reports. She let the sentence hang like a chandelier over a guilty conscience. My wife's lawyer leaned in to whisper. I watched his eyes visit each tab like a man counting exits. He finally said, This is a lot of circumstantial. Mia slid one last sheet. Badge swipes, she said softly. Thursdays, out early. My lawyer didn't look away from him. Circumstantial loves friends. We pressed play on one quiet clip. Hotel lobby footage, timestamped. Jared's beard in 108p next to my wife's beanie. No audio. Didn't need it. The ice machine hummed like a courtroom stenographer. You could hear the severance package forming and taste that weird hotel lobby citrus cleaner on the back of your tongue. The smirk left my wife's face like daylight. No raised voices, no speeches, just the soft shuffle of paper and the little squeak her chair made when she sank an inch. My lawyer set a pin on the signature line. This keeps things tidy, she said, and private. My wife's hands hovered like butterflies, realizing the glass is closed. If I sign, she whispered, do you stop? I nodded. We all stopped. Silence stretched. Then her lawyer picked up the pen, turned it, and set it in front of her. She signed. Priceless faces, the moment they crack. The first crack was tiny. Her lawyer's pen stopped mid-scratch, hovering like a hummingbird that forgot how wings work. He stared at the hotel still of beard and beanie, then at Exhibit A's leaf icons, and I watched the exact moment his soul filed a change of address. My wife tried to smile. It slid off her face like an egg on Teflon. This is heavily edited. Mia, polite to the point of legal, said, It's exported. My lawyer added, and preserved. The pen set itself down like it needed a nap. Then Jared joined by speaker. He was between meetings, which is corporate for hiding in a stairwell. His voice piped in, too cheerful. Hey team, buddy, read the room. My lawyer said, Jared, for clarity, do you recognize the device name Jared's iPhone? He took a beat too long. Lots of Jareds. Mia didn't raise her voice. And your Apple Watch ending in 7B9A? Silence. The stairwell swallowed a swear. We dropped the Slack timestamp match to the thermostat spike. My wife said, Coincidence. Mia asked, soft as powdered sugar, then what's the QBR at the Hyatt? You could hear him blink. Quarterly? Brand? Regroup? My lawyer slid the frame still closer. The beanie had the little folded tag I bought on Etsy. Etsy testified. Her lawyer tried courage. Even if there was companionship, that doesn't mean... My lawyer tapped the ring settings log. Your client disabled alerts from her account twice, aligned with backdoor entries and temperature increases. She was, at best, a facilities manager for a violation. The plant in the corner rustled like it was taking notes. My wife went for righteous. You were spying. I kept my DMV face. On my thermostat, it tattled. Repeatedly. She inhaled to argue, saw the rainbow timeline, and exhaled a full surrender sigh that whistled at the end. We played the 38-minute bedroom motion clip graph like a tiny roller coaster. Her lawyer stared at the line, blinked, and said, "Maintenance?" My lawyer didn't blink. "Cardio?" Even the court reporter who was not there laughed in my imagination. Mia opened her packet to the map pins. Thursdays, 214, 705, one street over. Jared's voice came back thin. I run in that area. I leaned forward just enough. Odd route. Past my back door. He found a new stairwell. Then came the money. Venmo emojis lined up with my ribeye, wine, artisan matches. My wife muttered, "That's inside jokes." Mia smiled, hurt and precise. "You joke a lot." The air went dense. The thermostat could have set itself to sauna. Her lawyer finally said the quiet part. "If we litigate, discovery will be unpleasant." Translation: "This binder will breed." My lawyer nodded. "In public." Translation: HR with helmets. The priceless moment wasn't a shout. It was the face she made when Mia slid the badge swipe printout. You could see the math collapse. The meeting she swore she was in. The door she swore she didn't open. The leaf icon that judged her from space. She looked at me like, maybe if I loved her enough, the graph would curve differently. I looked back like a brick wall that does taxes. Jared tried one last lie. "I've been mentoring." Mia cut in, gentle as rain. "At our house, with our kids, right?" The line crackled. The stairwell had no answer. Her lawyer cleared his throat. "We need a recess," my lawyer said. "Take your time," with the kindness of a shark offering a towel. They huddled in whispers. I watched my wife's shoulders fold inward, smaller, like a paper crane dunked in water. Mia looked at the plant. "Toast likes ice," she murmured, "because grief leaks out sideways." I nodded. "My dog eats socks." We sat in that weird domestic quiet in a room built for professional lying. They came back with faces set to damage. Control. Her lawyer adjusted his tie into a confession. We proposed removing alimony, leaving the house intact, and my lawyer lifted a hand. "Sign our tidy version. Non-disparagement, no retaliation, return of gifts above 500, and she absorbs her debt." He opened his mouth. She closed it with a glance. She knew the beanie had testified. "But the dog," she whispered, one last swing at sentiment. I kept my voice soft. "He sleeps at my house. He keeps sleeping." Her eyes glistened, and for a second, I almost remembered us at our best. Then I remembered guest mode. Jared's voice drifted back, wrecked. "Mia." She didn't answer him. She looked at me instead. "Are you okay?" I shrugged. "I'm boring." She smiled without teeth. "Good." My wife signed. The pen scratched like a saw cutting through a wedding arch. Her lawyer initialed like a man stamping refund denied. I slid one more page across. Employment clause. Ink blood simple. "No workplace retaliation," I said. "No whisper campaigns. No performance review vendettas." Her lawyer read it twice, saw the word policy, and nodded like a man who just felt a compliance officer breathe on his neck. When it was done, the room lost 3 degrees. The leaf icon would have been proud. The last priceless face came from the speaker. A door opened on Jared's end. Different footsteps. You can always tell supervisor's shoes. Harder heel strike, fewer apologies. Mia had muted, stood, and left the room here. But on his side, the stairwell echoed, and a second voice, his boss, said, "We need to chat." He forgot to hit end. Somewhere, a leaf icon gave a tiny, judgmental golf clap. I didn't smile. I just gathered my tabs. My wife pushed her chair back, careful, as if the carpet might judge. "I never wanted it like this," she said. I believed her. She wanted it easier. She got it accurate. Mia lifted her packet, tucked it into her bag like a recipe card. "I'll email you the pet custody template," she said. "We're very modern. We're very broken. We're very tidy." As we stood, I met my wife's eyes. She searched mine for a fire to put out. I had none. I was a leaf. Cool, flat, saved for later. "Guest mode," I said, as a goodbye that meant everything and nothing. She didn't answer. She didn't have to. The thermostat had already spoken. The fallout. Public and financial consequences. The ink wasn't dry before consequences started breeding like rabbits with LinkedIn profiles. Mia texted me a screenshot an hour after we left. Filed. She'd been sitting on a post-nup like a fire extinguisher. Turns out, Jared signed a no-fault but no-cheat clause after baby 2 that shifts assets if he violates marital fidelity in a way that would embarrass a church potluck. Guess who embarrassed the potluck? The clause triggered like a sprinkler. Mia's lawyer filed to reclassify their house and savings. Translation: Jared, meet the guest room at your brother's. Meanwhile, the compliance channel at his company got an anonymous tip about policy violations with a subordinate. Anonymous, as in, not me, not Mia, nobody. A leaf emoji pinged my phone. Mia. I didn't, she said. Me neither, I said. The universe has interns. Within 48 hours, HR had calendar invites, Slack timestamps, badge swipes, and that Hyatt still of beard and beanie. Policy says no relationships across reporting lines. His reported line was curved directly into my living room. They put him on leave to investigate. My wife's lawyer, suddenly less aggressive, emailed mine with the energy of a man canceling CrossFit. Corporate for go home and think about couches. We advise acceptance, immediate. His subject line said, clarity. His body said, perjury risk. Because here's the part cheaters never Google. If you lie while signing court documents, judges don't giggle. My exhibits sat like little landmines labeled perjury adjacent, so her team stomped on the brakes, hard. Financially, the settlement was a tidy guillotine. I kept the house, the retirement, and the accounts tied to my premarital deposits. She kept her car, her wardrobe starring the beanie's evil twin, and her personal debt, which was news to me and also to Visa. No alimony, no bonus split, and she returned gifts above a number that made me nostalgic for when we were sentimental instead of itemized. She asked if she could keep the espresso machine. I said yes. I didn't need something that screeched every morning and reminded me of betrayal. We finalized a non-disparagement clause so specific it may as well have had her group chat's name on it. No whisper campaigns at work. No, he was controlling on Instagram. No subtweets with Drake lyrics. She signed because the alternative was discovery, and discovery is like a Costco sample of ruin. Free, plentiful, and handed to you by a retiree who knows your grandma. Then public life did what it does. Leaked? Not my leak. Not Mia's. Someone at Jared's office saw him leave with a banker's box and posted, "Welp," with a vague face caption. Another coworker slid into my DMs with, "Dude, sorry. Also, that binder? Legendary. Sir, we do not stand my trauma, but thank you for respecting formatting." Her friends tried the group chat version of CPR. We had no idea. Of course you didn't. Cheaters curate audiences like influencers. They get silenced by feeding crumbs. My silence ended their silence. Brunch got quiet. So did the yoga studio. She needs space, one texted me, like I was planning to suffocate her with facts. I replied with the court docket number and a picture of the dog, who is clinically adorable and legally mine. The dog stayed with me because stability matters and because he chooses his people the way toddlers choose cereal, loudly and with tantrums. The judge looked at my color-coded vet schedule like it was poetry and said, "Stay." He did. At work, I got exactly 2 reactions: private high fives from the nerds and an awkward sandwich from my boss. "Heard you, navigated something." I nodded. "Yes, with graphs." He blinked, impressed and terrified. "Good use of data," he said, like I had hit quarterly targets. Somewhere in HR, a compliance person added thermostat to their personal threat model. Money-wise, the best part was the absence. No monthly checks to a woman who tried to invoice me for my own dog. No dividing up furniture like the Last Supper. No splitting my bonus, which landed the following week like a peace lily. I transferred it to my account and labeled the line, "Therapy, locks, new sheets, petty." The ripple hit her job too. She and Jared didn't just break policy. They created a little scandal. Not a scandal, more like a scar. Meetings got weird. Their Slack channels got quiet. A calendar invite went out about culture and respect, which is corporate for stop starring in each other's calendars. She wasn't fired, but she was reassigned to a team on a different floor with a manager who prints emails, which is a fate worse than spreadsheets. She texted me once, "You ruined my life." I stared at the leaf icon on my thermostat and typed, "No, you warmed the house on Thursdays. Delete." I sent, "We all lived with the choices. Read." No reply. Later, Mia sent a photo of Toast asleep with a child's sock in his mouth. Caption, "We're okay." I replied with my dog snoring like a broken engine. Caption, "We're boring." There were tiny, glorious echoes of justice. The hotel sent a survey to her email again. How was guest mode? And I laughed alone at my table like a villain who recycles. The energy report for the month after the settlement gave me a little leaf with a smile. Your energy use is lower than similar homes. Similar homes don't host Jared. I framed the report mentally and set the thermostat to 68, the peace temperature. And here's the real fallout. Quiet. No lies to monitor. No doors to double check. No backdoor choreography. Just a house that clicks into away mode when I leave and home when I come back, like it's supposed to. Money stayed put. Reputation stayed boring. Which is to say, bulletproof. The best consequence? I didn't get revenge. I got receipts. The receipts did the revenge for me and returned change. And if you're wondering, would I have the spine to do this? You don't need a spine, you need a spreadsheet. The spine grows after. Aftermath micro moments, cleanup and clarity. First thing I did when I got home, changed every password like I was breaking up with a clingy ghost. Email, bank, utilities, thermostat, even the app that controls the living room lights. Two-factor everywhere, hardware keys on the big ones. I revoked her device access so hard my phone asked if I was sure I wanted peace. Yes. So sure. Utilities next. I called the energy company and said, remove secondary user. The rep said, do you have authority? Buddy, I have binders. I read the account number like a bedtime story and clicked her out of my digital life one utility at a time. Water, gas, internet. Guest network got a new password. No Jared zone. Petty? Accurate. I rekeyed the locks. The locksmith looked at the dog, looked at me, and said, breakup? I said, upgrade. He nodded like a man who's seen things and spun metal into closure. I handed him the old keys and felt lighter by 3 ounces and 1 ghost. The dog stayed because the judge liked stability and because he's a Klingon. I bribed him with a new squeaky. We celebrated by taking the longest walk since the invention of sidewalks. He sniffed every leaf like it owed him money. A neighbor waved and said, new schedule? I said, new thermostat policy. She didn't ask, which is why she's my favorite neighbor. Friends popped out of the woodwork with that guilty we had no idea tone. Sure, they never do. My group chat lit up like a slot machine. Omen-G, are you okay? We thought she was happy. Is the dog safe? The dog was literally asleep on his back, feet in the air, snoring like a lawnmower. I sent a photo. That ended the pity spiral faster than a therapist with a stopwatch. I scrubbed the house like it had opinions. New sheets, new towel set, new beanie-free shelf space. I took her forgotten hair ties, put them in a bag, and labeled it lost and found. Not lost, not found. Petty is a spice, used lightly. I kept the espresso machine for a week, then gave it to a friend who doesn't cheat and does appreciate crema. He texted a photo of a perfect latte heart. I replied, cherish your leaf. Dinner that night was quiet on purpose. A ribeye I cooked for exactly 1 person, medium rare, no audience, no lies. I plated it like a restaurant because I'm dramatic when left unattended. I toasted myself with a glass of the good bottle she bought on cleanse night because I paid for it, and also because justice pairs well with tannins. The house sat at 68, judgment-free. No guest mode, just me mode. I did the admin chores like a divorce butler, updated beneficiaries, removed her emergency contact slot, changed the Spotify family plan so the algorithm stops recommending breakup playlists performed by men with beanies and acoustic guitars. My Discover Weekly took a deep breath and stopped crying. Little wins stacked up. The thermostat monthly report gave me a happy leaf for the first time in months. Your energy use is lower than similar homes. Similar homes don't have guest star cardio on Thursdays. I screenshotted it, sent it to Mia with a leaf emoji. She sent back toast to sleep under a blanket. Caption, we like boring. Same. The quiet felt weird at first. I'd gotten used to scanning for lies the way you scan for exits in a theater. Now the exits were all just doors, and the doors stayed closed, and the house clicked into away mode when I left and greeted me when I came back like a dog that runs on wires. I didn't realize how loud someone else's secrets are until the silence came and sat on my couch like a polite aunt. There were social ripples. Her best friend texted, we should talk. I replied, we did, in court. She sent a paragraph about compassion. I sent back the non-disparagement clause and a thumbs up. Boundaries are just fences with good signage. I boxed her leftover stuff, put it by the door, and labeled it with dates for pickup. When she came by, I met her on the porch. No speeches, no scenes. She asked if she could see the dog. He peeked from behind my legs like a kid at a parade, decided she was not snacks, and retreated. She whispered, he used to be obsessed with me. I said, we all used to be other things. She nodded like a person hearing her own echo. Later, I noticed the wedding ring in a dish by the sink. It looked like a tiny satellite that lost signal. I washed the dish around it. Then I put the ring in a Ziploc, wrote evidence, do not tamper, and set it on the counter for the next chapter. Closure, but with Sharpie. I slept like furniture. No waking to door sensors. No phantom footsteps from the shame entrance. Just a thermostat that minded its business and a dog who snored off-key. Confession. I cried for like 12 seconds brushing my teeth because my body finally believed me. Then I woke up before my alarm, made coffee, and realized I wasn't bracing for anything. My shoulders forgot how to live up by my ears. The last admin was kindness. I blocked her on anything that made my brain spiral. Unfollowed the people who post beanies and quotes about integrity. I filled the empty shelf with cookbooks and dog treats. I lit a candle that smells like not Hyatt. The house exhaled. So did I. Peace wasn't loud. It was practical. It was passwords and padlocks and a normal heater. It was one mug, one bowl, one pair of slippers by the door. And yeah, quick check-in. Are you team boring is beautiful yet, or do you still want fireworks? Fireworks burn out. Boring stays warm. It was the kind of boring that wins, the kind that sleeps. Final confrontation, the last exchange. She texted, "Can we talk?" I replied, "Porch, 6 p.m., sun low." Dog posted like security with allergies. She walked up holding a grocery bag like it was a peace treaty. Inside, the espresso machine manual and a hoodie I forgot exists. Cute. She started with the sigh. "One more chance?" I said. "Sure. Tell me one more MAC address." She blinked. "What?" I smiled. "Name any device that isn't yours that joined my network. Bonus points for the watch ending in 7B9A. Her mouth did a little fish. The dog sneezed. Judged. She went straight to astrology court. I was stressed. Work's insane. Money. The economy. Mercury. I nodded. Yeah, Mercury toggled guest mode. She winced. You're being cruel. I'm being accurate, I said. Cruel was the back door. She shifted into nostalgia. Remember our first apartment? We ate noodles on the floor. We had nothing. We had honesty, I said. Turns out that's everything. She swallowed, eyes glassy like a humidifier. I made a mistake. I shrugged. You made a schedule. She reached for my arm, stopped herself, recalculated. He didn't mean anything. I held up a finger. Say his name and my porch evaporates. She closed her mouth around the J like it tasted bad. Okay, she whispered. Okay. I set a small Ziploc on the railing. Inside, the wedding ring. Label in Sharpie. Evidence. Do not tamper. She laughed through her nose. Ugly cute. You're impossible. No, I said. Impossible was the spreadsheet trying to be a marriage. She stared at the bag like it might bite. Did you ever love me? I didn't rush it. I loved us when we told the truth, I said. I loved the version where your phone wasn't a stranger. She nodded like a church bell ringing inside her head. Can we reset? She asked, voice at kid volume. Start small. Therapy. No labels. I already have labels, I said, tapping the bag. And a therapist who charges by the boundary. She tried jealousy as a last resort. Are you and Mia? I laughed, clean and short. We're co-parents to a leaf icon. She blinked, confused, hurt, small. I'm trying, she said. So did my lock, I said. It still got rekeyed. I opened the door just enough to grab the box of her last things from the hall table. Hair ties, a scarf, a book of poems that lied to both of us. I set it beside the hoodie. Pickup complete, I said. Receipt optional. She took a breath that wanted to be a scene and downgraded it to a sentence. You look lighter. I turned off guest mode, I said. House lost 10 pounds. She reached for the ring. Finger hesitated at the label. You don't have to be mean. It's not mean, I said. It's context. She slid the Ziploc into her blazer pocket like contraband. You're going to tell everyone I'm a monster, she said. No, I said. I'm going to tell no one anything. That's what non-disparagement is. Silence with receipts. She rubbed her thumb like the ring was still there. I hate that you got funny, she muttered. I got boring, I corrected. Funny is a side effect. Do you forgive me? The porch light clicked on like a jury. I thought about noodles on floors and leaf icons and beanies in lobbies. I forgive you the way a museum forgives fingerprints, I said. They wipe them off and add a rope. She nodded, a tiny bow to a truth she didn't buy but couldn't return. If I need the dog, he's not a library. Book, I said, softer. But send a text. We'll do what's kind. He likes the park at 5. She smiled at the boards. He used to like mornings with me. He used to like socks that weren't his, I said. He grew up. She looked past me into the house, like maybe a version of us would run down the hall and grab her hand. No versions appeared. Just my life, arranged, small, steady. Last thing, I said, work. She flinched. I'm not good, I said, because I don't want your job. I want your absence. She breathed out relief like steam. Okay. We stood in a silence that didn't beg. Wind, a car, the little tick of the porch bulb. She tucked hair behind her ear, a move that used to short-circuit me. Now it was just hair behaving. Goodbye, she offered, a question mark pretending to be punctuation. Goodbye, I said, period. I stepped inside and tapped my phone. Eco mode. The vents gave their soft airplane sigh. The house exhaled, and so did I. She turned, walked down the path, didn't look back. The dog leaned against my knee like a doorstop with feelings. Behind us, the thermostat screen went dim, then glowed once, gentle. Away mode armed itself. For once, nobody snuck back in. Moral and reflection. Peace with receipts. Data isn't cold. Lies are. Data just sits there in little squares saying, here's what happened. Lies try on costumes, change accents, and eat up your time like a hungry raccoon. The thermostat didn't ruin my marriage. It held up a mirror. We hated the reflection. I didn't win because I screamed. I won because I documented. Calm is underrated. Calm is a weapon. Calm makes other people hear themselves. You show a graph, they show panic. You show timestamps, they show loopholes. Judges love boring because boring is heavy. It doesn't move when someone cries on it. If someone starts changing on you, patterns shout before people confess. It starts small. New classes, new late nights, new private calendar blocks with cute acronyms. Your gut grumbles. Your brain gaslights your gut because you want Sundays to stay the same. Listen to both. Then open a spreadsheet. That's the romance that saved me. Cells and a legend. Revenge sounded fun in my head. Like a movie where I pop out of a ficus and read a monologue. Reality? Revenge is paperwork, and paperwork is perfect. Paperwork doesn't wake up later and text you we were both wrong. Paperwork says, per Exhibit C, you were wrong at 7:03 p.m. with the back door. It's not sexy. It's final. Peace is weird. It doesn't arrive with trumpets. It shows up with a mop and says, move. It's changing lock codes at noon and realizing you're not shaking. It's a monthly energy report smiling at you like a sticker from kindergarten. It's making breakfast at 7 a.m. and not wondering who muted your doorbell. I got neat little clicks, the sound of a thermostat doing its job. I kept waiting for the fireworks of closure. Honestly, better. Here's the quiet truth I didn't expect. I'm not angry anymore. I thought I'd feast on petty for a year. Turns out petty is an appetizer. The entree is sleep. Sleep tastes like a miracle. Sleep tastes like a house that doesn't lie. She'll tell a version. Everybody does. Her version probably stars a controlling man with a binder. Fine. My version has footnotes. If a friend asks, I don't perform. I point to the docket, the clause, the custody of the dog Squeaky. Facts are rude to fiction. If you're in it right now, if your gut is pacing your hallway, do 3 things. Screenshot, timestamp, breathe. Screenshot because memories blur. Timestamp because courts love clocks. Breathe because adrenaline makes you stupid and you need to be smart. Whisper to yourself, we're building IKEA. Then follow the little man with the hex key. And if you need a sign to start, let this be the leaf icon blinking at you from the future. Don't chase the confession, chase the pattern. Confessions are theater, patterns are math. And when it finally breaks, don't give them a scene, give them a settlement. Don't give them a speech, give them a clause. You're not auditioning, you're filing. Last thing, forgiveness. People treat it like a coupon. Use now, save 20% on therapy. Nah, forgiveness is a museum policy. We don't ban hands, we post signs and add velvet ropes. I forgive you. I also installed new glass. I wish you well, over there. And here, I water my peace like a petty little houseplant. I used to think love was the grand gesture, the surprise trip, the big apology, the ring. I learned love is tiny maintenance. Lock the door. Tell the truth. Turn off guest mode before it turns you off. Boring love wins. Boring love sleeps. Boring love keeps the dog. So yeah, data isn't cold. It's honest. And honest is warm enough. The house clicked into away mode. The screen dimmed. And for once, the only footsteps that left were mine and a dog's. If you want more courtroom-proof petty wrapped in calm, hit subscribe and stick around. Watch the next story, Wear a Ring. Doorbell tries to play lawyer and loses. New stories weekly. Bring your tea, bring your questions, and I'll bring the receipts.